We would like to welcome all the participants to this third CSR meeting in the fourth CUMIPAZ, which is being held in Guatemala. To continue with our program, we have the subject Businesses that Change the World. CSR, differentiating the brand and generating happiness. And then at the end, we will have an opportunity to make questions and answers, which will be in written form. And if someone needs a paper or anything to write down their questions, they can raise their hand, and people in protocol will be giving you what you need so that you can make the questions. This discussion will be moderated by Edna Rodríguez, master's, who has a master's in social responsibility, accounting, and social auditing from the University of Barcelona. She's an expert in formulation and management of social impact projects, management of environmental risk, and impact measurement. She's a recognized international speaker on issues of sustainability, social responsibility, and international social standards and environmental performance. I will leave from Colombia, Ms. Edna Rodríguez.
Well, good afternoon. We are in a very interesting panel. We're going to have these people speaking with us about the sustainability and the good practices in those companies and the topics that we are interested on. And immediately we're going to work on the organization of the environment of the business. And then we're going to know very interesting things. I invite, please, to Cristina Bonillo Olivares. Cristina is a Spaniard. She has a master of the University of Madrid in journalism. She has worked in organizations like Europa 3 and AIJ in Spain. And in October of 2008, she started her career in Latin America, and especially in Guatemala. Please, let's give the welcome. She started in Guatemala being reporter from Prensa Libre, and besides professor of communications at University Rafael Landívar. After that, she was part of the teams of communications of the Embassy of Spain in Guatemala as a senior press officer. Actually, Cristina is Director of Sustainable Business and Communications Corporative for Central America, Colombia, and Ecuador, where she leads the implementation of Plan of Sustainable Life in such region. Welcome. And now we have another guest that is going to bring us a wonderful conference. Then I had an opportunity to listen his conference in Guatemala this year at the event of CSR. And that's very interesting. Then we're going to receive José Carlos Gómez, who is Chief of Sustainability at BAC Credomatic in Guatemala. We present José Carlos. José Carlos is a Chief of Sustainability in Credomatic. He has the title of Mercadotecnia and radio producer. In matter of sustainability, he's been working with the Association of Companies of Costa Rica. He has certifications in topics of CSR and with a diploma of function with handicapped people. He has 10 people of experience as conferences. He is volunteer assessor about personal finances, corporative volunteer, and the Foundation Ronald McDonald and his collaborator in Valentina. Give him the welcome also to Jose Carlos, and then we are going to initiate this panel. Well, we're going to start with this, and then you're going to tell us everything that is in sustainability and harmony that has a level of good practice. Be welcome. Thank you. Good afternoon. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, your presence, and then the opportunity that CUMIPAZ and the embassy to be here. I am very surprised of the call that I can feel in this salon. Is even though we just finished lunch after 10 minutes, it's a complicated time. But I would like to let you know about the practices of UNILEVER. I would like that we understand why we do it, why we do sustainable businesses. Everything has an explanation. We don't do it for marketing. We don't do it because we save, even though both things are brings good benefits. In the meantime, let me tell you why we migrate and start speaking about to sustainable business. To do sustainable businesses, we can say that is within the company. It's not something that I do, Cristina Bonillo in that company, but it's something that our president he leaders the projects of sustainability. Our president also leaders chain of sustainability, and they have their own brands and they have their own network of sustainability. The good thing about this company is that we the way that we really do businesses, we do it in a different way. We plan to go with the consumer with aggregated value, sustainable. Well, we have a frame that all of us know that there are the objectives of sustainable, and then how can we connect with each one of these? And practically, we have projects with all of the objectives. But that's not the point. I want to explain you that all the objectives of sustainable development, it's only objectives that promote the sustainable development and social development. We have opportunities to improve the economy. In the way that we improve the economy and development, the development reach the countries. This is our vision. For us, what sustainability means? It means to grow more as a company, to get to more consumers with brands with that have a purpose, and then the 46% of the growth of our company is imposed by the brands with purpose. And what that means? Well, those are brands that they have a social impact or environmental impact, which is positive, and then the half of that growth is living of these brands. And that has another means. The consumers are every day more worried about this brand and how they impact the planet. In the measure that we reach better programs and better brands, we are going to reach this to keep investing in better brands. Well, and besides, this generates better risks. Well, the 56% of the main, what that means, we have field to for a long time. If we treat the land in a non-responsible way, well, we won't have sources to produce tomorrow. In the measure that we can generate sustainable purchases, we are securing something for tomorrow and then better opportunities for the farmers and the providers. Then sustainability has another advantage and then generates savings. We have less costs. At the beginning, the inversion is really high. If we want to install solar panels, that is an inversion an investment that has a cost, but then the return of that cost is even bigger. The proof is that we have measured about 490 million of euros in the last 5 years, and then we started implementing the strategy of sustainability. What do you see of opportunity in the sector of social, environmental? For every dollar that we invest in a project that has something to do with environment, well, the return can be up to $6 for every person that, in which we can invest $1 to get them out of malnourishment. We can have the benefit of $17, and for every dollar that we invest in potable water, access to potable water, the return can be something entre $5 and $60. Then is or is not a big opportunity for the economy of development? What do you think? Clearly. Thank you. Social goal stability. In that line, we have been working. For example, in Central America, I have to say one thing, and this that I've been working for the last 10 years of my life in Central America, especially since in this beautiful country, Guatemala, which I love. And I'm going to bring many examples of Central America because it brings me many good memories. Then we work in Central America with many institutions, but some of which we have working to bring those benefits, then I just told you, to economy, is the food banks. The food bank in El Salvador, and then that program that try to capacitate children's, and that's one of the biggest problems in schools. If we go to see, let's see advantages of social investments. We speak before about the farming, the sustainable farming. There are studies of the FAO that if we restore the 12% of the soil, of the spent soil, the small farmers have opportunities for more than 35 billion of dollars per year, and those opportunities allow us to feed 12 million of people for the next 15 years. We know actually 800 million of people, they still are malnourished. And if we just restore 12% of the soil, we can feed 200 of those people for the next 15 years. We have to work in that direction. And then besides, it's a bigger problem with the companies that work in the area of food. You know that every year we process 1,300, we waste 1,300 tons of food. Do you imagine what that means for the economy? How many people one can feed that? And what happened with the carbon emissions? We know with the carbon emissions, if the waste of foods will be a country, what number do you think that will be the number one in carbon emissions? One, two, three? If we, well, let me tell you that will be the third country of emissions, carbon emissions, behind China and United States. We have to work to solve these problems, and that's why we've been doing like this campaign that we've been doing in Argentina, where we reach 8 million of people about a farm, so we can make conscious in the people about the waste of food. Because we know about the food waste started in the house. So we have to be capable to reach the consumer. We have to reach the consumer to buy responsibly and use responsibly those resources. We also know that companies that invest to change the climate, well, they have a bigger return than those companies that do not do it. They have 12% more. And then if we reach a circular economy, that we can take advantage of all that we're wasting to the oceans, which is, by the way, more than 90%, we can generate 10,000 new jobs in the next 5 years. So we have decided to work also with the natural resources. An example of the plant that we have at the site in El Salvador it's an exemplary plant that last year reached about 40% of the water consumption. And this, do you know what is that equivalent to 75 million bottles of water? So that is a good practice to replicate in all Latin America. And the last thing that I tell you, women, inclusion, and diversity. Women are part of the economy, but they still have a place way lower than men. The studies of consultants of women show that every year of high school, well, the income is going to increase about 13%. Women, we move economy, we go to supermarket, we move our families. Therefore, if we invest in the education of the girls, it's very important to keep moving the market, the jobs, generate opportunities, and healthier families. And that's why, for example, in Latin America, we are implementing this program called Shakti, Women with Power, in the Hindu language. Then we reach women from rural areas where we offer the opportunity to distribute our products in small amounts, and they can stay with the return of the distribution instead of us doing it for another companies. Can I tell you, Mayra Alejandra? Mayra Alejandra is a Colombian woman that started with us in this program Shakti, and it's an example of life. Mayra, she was living in a remote area, and she by herself has reached to sell only about 4,000 euros, and she has taken the product to 74 communities that didn't have access to basic products like toothpaste, soap paste, and also has generated a job for 1,300 women. She has got prize to global, so she is a hero of impact. The markets are not stable, and then I was reading an article about the deforestation, how the jungles of Colombia have been diminishing. The inactivity of about sustainability has reached many millions a year. So we have cost about 56.3 trillions in the economy. What we can do? I believe what we can do is to act together, to work jointly. And here I want to make you a question. And then after we decide what we can do all together.
Thousands of entrepreneurial women to work in remote villages? Are you one of the can-doers, encouraging dads to brush with their kids, helping to establish healthy routines? Are you training the smallholder farmers with methods kind to the land? and to the land beyond the fence? Are you encouraging mothers, proud of their homes, big or small, to switch to low-temperature washing to save energy? Are you someone with ambitious goals? You don't always know how you're going to get there, but you're going to take that first step. Are you someone that understands little things do count, do add up, do make a difference for you and all those around you? Is that who you are? Then you are in the right place.
Well, I think we all together at the right place today, because if we are here is because we really are these people worried. Sometimes we think that the big companies, then the people cannot make changes, but despite, I believe, profoundly believe, that all of us that we work on this, that a small action generates a big, big difference in the planet. So I invited you to work together to bring your ideas, because we're not achieve anything with all those big objectives if we do not work together for the planet. Thank you very much. Well, all of us agree with that. Jose Carlos, it's your turn. We're going to talk about the difference of brand and the happiness. Good afternoon. I am Jose Carlos Gómez, and actually I am leader of CSR and sustainability in Credomatic, Guatemala. Today I want to share with you what we have done, some facts that how we have done it, and the way how we implement this topic of CSR. We initiate with this exercise since 2008, approximately. Now, from 2008 up to now, we have seen that we have learned a lot of topics. Initially, we learned to CSR is not philanthropy. It's not the way how the companies are used to sign checks and give them to big organizations, to communities. But this is more a topic that has to do to the inside of the company, and this is linked to the process. In Besides, I just keep telling you this. To me, always then I like to speak about something about CSR. I start saying about responsibility because we use it frequently, but sometimes we don't think in what that means. Responsibility has to do with the way in which the person or companies assume the impacts of their decisions producing. This is the responsibility that I have as a person to fulfill my obligations to feed the family, and also based in a responsible way that the company has to assume, and how can they work in the impacts, positive and negatives, process from their acts and everything they're doing. Now, in these 10 years, what we have learned is that responsibility, social responsibility or sustainability is very deeply linked in society, because we understood that responsibility is the way. For sustainability, that has to be the goal. A company that wants to be sustainable in a long way has to have actions that has to see with responsibility being in a company. When I speak about sustainability of the bank, I do it in a way very simple. The bank sustains from the money of the people. If the people does not have money, there is no bank. Then what can we do? We have to make sure that our customers be healthy, because our clients with finances, healthy finances, is they broke the bank. A person who owes a lot of money cannot save. A person who owes money cannot buy a house, cannot buy a car. Entrepreneur who owes money cannot generate more work. then the social responsibility has to be the only way that a company has to have to look for secure sustainability. And also, what that means, the projects that has to do with sustainability of a company, they have to generate business for the same company. How is it? Well, if the projects that we have of social responsibility is only to get money out of the pocket, that means that when the money finishes, the project finishes. Then what we understood that is that at the end, all the efforts that we have to do has to be linked to a strategy, to win-win, because up to when we reach the resources, that's the goal. So what we start developing is a program of conscientization for all our customers and all the providers and society in general. That what the people has about us, and that takes us to the next point. That is start a dialogue. Since 2007, that we started developing this exercise, we initiate dialogues with all our interested people, customers, providers, partners, societies, where we were working. What we do? Well, we got them together. Well, what do you want from the bank? What would you like? What would you like that we can do? It was not just sign checks and give them the money, but it was more a topic that let's work together. Well, just collaborator as a company, as customer, as company. What do you want? Then, from everything that we started to know and everything that is coming out about these small meetings, is that all our interested parties, they ask us three things. One of them was, we want the bank be responsible of the financial products that is delivering. Well, this is financial education. Then the company said, we want the bank explain us to the micro companies and how we can use all the experience and all the channels that they have so we can grow. Then we would develop a program of company strengthening. And then the third one is that the person say, we want the bank to be responsible with the environmental impact. Then in all that we started to develop, we say, oh, well, this has to do with the three axes of sustainability. What is going on? Then we develop many activities. Then we align them to the 17 objectives of sustainable development. And then within all we have done, and then up to here, I let you with the context of I want to tell you what we started doing and why we do it. And then we start developing capacitations, financial capacitation. Why? Bank Credomatic is a company operating from Guatemala to Panama. This is very important information. Now, Central America doesn't owe a lot of money. Doesn't owe money. Owes a lot of money. Now, if we start spending more money than what we can get, that is because our products, of which the people get in debt. Now we can get to our companies, affiliated companies. We can train our people. We train them how to do budget, how can save, how can get out of debt, how to get a responsible credit, how to use the. It's more a topic of awareness, and then to reach all our interested parties with the topic that we are experts, which is financial. And some information is 712,000 persons have been trained up to the date. And we said we are not having we are not advancing with a company at the empresarial level. But then we have Credomatic.com, then we started chats, videos, contents, advice for young ones, for adults and companies. And that's what we're doing. If you allow us, this year we celebrate something extra, something out of the traditional way in which the companies have been working, this kind of activities, and then we went to the Ministry of Education. Why? Because we are bankers. We are not educators. If we want to take a topic of education, we want to do it with entities or organizations that are experts on this education topic, and then we sit down with the Ministry and Vice Ministry of Education of the Ministry of Guatemala, so we can show them to develop some content using the experience of Costa Rica, Honduras have developed in 2007 and 2015. This year, we signed an alliance with the Ministry of Education of Guatemala so we can develop and implement within the national curriculum signature uh, uh, some assignment for productivity. And this is at the national level for all basic education. Now, who's going to teach? Who's going to develop this? Credomatic develops all the content about the financial education, so they can be the it can be the teachers who can develop this as they can been working up to now. This is the what we our input that we show to the children and youth of our country. Besides that, we support all the small and medium companies, giving advices to about 70,000 companies, strengthen and between our chain, 2,400 providers that we have teached. How we invite them to breakfast, to activities, and we develop content like financial excellency, speaking about the model of a model, intermodal, human resources, marketing, sustainable purchases, and all those systems that we have as a corporation. We can try to translate it to the small and medium companies. And about the environment, we something that we have starting at the regional level. We have 18 in Costa Rica and the rest in Panama. Guatemala this year is going to have three of those buildings, and now we have in one of our buildings has a water treatment plant with a recycling plant with constant training to all the personnel, and then besides to that, we have an internal program to the credit area and SARAS. SARAS is a system of risks, and then since our financial institution doesn't take these risks, what other people, other institutions do, that has to do with the way that we can question this content. So what we do, we started investigating what the companies are going to do, the money that we're going to give them, and then we go together with them so they can use it in the most responsible way, and this one it doesn't have social risk or environmental risks. This is what we have developed. If you allow me, I'm going to steal a couple of more minutes. I'm going to tell you something. All this that I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we have not paid any $1 to any other company. We have developed this with partners, our partners, to take his working hours to this benefit. 389,000 hours of volunteer, providing 42% of our partners. This is something traditional. And then what this does, this links the partner with the company, because I'm not only employed to do a job, but additional to that, with my knowledgement, I can use them to apply them to society. This is besides the cooperative volunteer with building houses, construction of schools, nursing homes, and all these projects. Besides this, something that we start developing is that we start and open the door and be an inclusive company. We are not going to discriminate nobody for their religion, race, skin color, or his sexual preference. We do not discriminate. And then we started employing people who have a handicap in a way. So we have partners that have some kind of auditive handicap, and they're working there. The good, interesting thing is the alliances that we reach. In these last years, we understood that the best way to reach the objectives is through alliances, and that's how we have been working in 379 partners. We have collaborating with our company, and they, in a way, have some kind of discapacity. At the end, we said, let's widen what we're doing and give them opportunities to the NGOs that today we are not supporting. So that we created a platform says Yo me uno, which is I join. and then that is to put in contact the NGOs that are doing a lot of good things, and they do it with the small resources, and then the other side will link our companies partners that at the end they have resources but they don't know how to do it because they're companies. So we can have it's a virtual platform we launched in a big way with the natural catastrophe with the volcano in Guatemala, and then what we get together in 1 month was about $295,000, and all this that has been managing Guatemala. We have an alliance with UNICEF in 5 years with supporting to the first childhood. This is something that we've been fighting for. To close with this, we have an agreement, and it's an agreement that is to watch for the well-being of our partners, providers, communities, and society in which we are working. And the most interesting thing is that this part of sustainability, it's very close linked to the business. The social responsibility is within 100% within the strategy of business, and that's where we are in the era of responsible business. Thank you very much.